On last week's episode of SmackDown, Goldberg turned up digitally in the Thunderdome audience to watch the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, which Inside the Ropes claim is to build a possible Reigns versus Goldberg match for WrestleMania 37. And if Bret Hart had to give Goldberg fighting for the Blue Universal Championship in 2021 a rating out of 10, it would be even lower than 4. Referencing his infamous Triple H is a 4 out of 10 wrestler shoot promo on this very channel in WrestleTalk's early days, Bret proved he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be at crapping over top wrestlers' reputations. Goldberg was a guy that nobody seemed to have taught how wrestling really works. He seemed to think he could just pick a guy up and just slam him through the mat as hard as you could, and that was good wrestling. His work rate was 0 out of 10. Like, everything he did hurt. Everything. He could tie up with you and hurt you. Goldberg ended Bret Hart's career with a wayward thrust kick at Starrcade 1999, which caused a concussion that Bret never fully recovered from, which he also spoke about on that Confessions of the Hitman episode. The kick was the work of a total, somebody who had absolutely no skill at all. He literally threw me into the ropes and tried to kick my head off my shoulders. There was no working aspect to it. There's no way you can do it without hurting somebody. And the thing with Bill was that all the I'm sorries in the world don't mean anything when you hurt somebody for real. But young up-and-comer Goldberg isn't the only person WWE are building up on SmackDown. It really is a new day. Yes, it is. For the New Day. Yes, it is. With Big E staying on SmackDown while Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods moved to Raw in the WWE Draft. The first time the faction have been on different brands in 6 years. But while Kofi and Xavier are keeping the New Day tag team gimmick, WWE are reportedly planning to drop that part of Big E's character. Dave Meltzer wrote in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that WWE wants to make him more serious going forward. A character change that's constantly pointed out by Corey Graves on commentary, saying that Big E is destined for superstardom as long as he sheds the goofiness and wises up. WWE commentary is usually a verbal extension of Vince McMahon's own thought process. It'll help that WWE already owns the right to Big E's name. As Fightful is reporting, WWE have been denied several wrestler trademarks because the talent aren't consenting to the company owning their real names. These include Drew Gulak, Pete Dunne, Tony Nese, and Justice, while Cageside Seats adds Mia Yim's name to the mix too, who's filed for her own name trademark. While this is about boring copyright law, it's actually one of the biggest stories in the wrestling business right now, as WWE is trying to exert even more control over their
very happy and COVID safe independent contractors.
Now it's time for my review of last night's Raw in about 5 minutes, which, coincidentally, is about how long Retribution's run lasted. Thanks for your support on Patreon, The Fresh Princeton, El Gainey. Ignore all WWE's problems, just sit back and enjoy the generic music, as it's the season premiere of Raw with a brand new opening video and song. It's also the Hell in a Cell Go Home show, a pay-per-view which could really do with having some actual matches. And one might as well be Retribution versus any chance of ever succeeding. Raw's messy and contrived opening had Alexa Bliss bring out The Fiend, who were both surrounded by Retribution, for The Fiend and Bliss to disappear when the lights cut out, and then the Hurt Business come down for an 8-man tag. What is happening? The 8-man tag was actually pretty decent. This was Retribution's first match since Ali was revealed as their leader 2 weeks ago, and he wrestled with an intense viciousness, particularly against his former buddy Cedric Alexander. Alexander, meanwhile, wrestled with legit viciousness, seemingly legit knocking out Slapjack for 30 seconds with a back fist. Jack literally got slapped. Like I said, after Ali was unveiled as their leader, WWE are booking Retribution as a mid-card act in a mid-card position in mid-card feuds. Mark my words, they'll lose to the Hurt Business in a month at Survivor Series, I said, and never be heard from again. I was wrong. It just took 2 weeks. Bobby tapped out T-Bar in the Lashley lock clean, and then The Fiend appeared and beat up all of Retribution, choking out T-Bar yet again, despite him wearing a mask. Retribution not only lost their first match after revealing Ali as their leader, they were also wiped out easily by The Fiend immediately afterwards. And after the explanation segment was bumped last week, Ali later cut a promo backstage revealing he was the SmackDown hacker too, which is how he found the Retribution guys. And he's also the guy who threw the pie at Kevin Owens. And he was in Shane's lockbox. And he's Vince McMahon's illegitimate son. Just like I said, WWE never cared about Retribution. They were nothing more than a mid-card act to them, an idea chucked at the plexiglass amidst falling ratings back in August. And just like Raw Underground being scrapped, it seems WWE are clearing house of last season's mess. And they're doing it by burying Retribution for a lazy filler feud for The Fiend, who they drafted across with no real immediate plans. Speaking of Raw Underground, the giant doorman Jordan Omegbehen is now AJ Styles' bodyguard. He helped AJ win his match just by looking at Matt Riddle, which damages the bro right from the start on his new brand. After a few days of some actually really decent emotional promos on social media, which we didn't see any of here, mega babyface Lana took on Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship after fluking the Battle Royal win last week. And WWE showed us they're not a petty company. They're not burying Lana because her husband turned up in AEW by booking Lana to tap in minutes and then have Nia Jax put her through a table for the 4th week in a row. Jax and Shayna Baszler then beat 3 other teams of the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. Royce split from Billie Kay so she could team with Lacey Evans, flattening out both the women's singles and tag divisions. Elias then did a gig that went on forever, and bafflingly wasn't done for heel heat. He simply sung 2 songs blander than your favourite main roster wrestlers' impending new entrance music, without the joke lines in that got him over in the first place. Jeff Hardy revealed himself as a member of Retribution playing a guitar to build their match for this Sunday. Sheamus called Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods 2/3 of the New Day, which got a laugh from my idiotic brain, and then took on Kofi in a decent singles match. The best part was Biggie appearing in the Thunderdome audience to will Kingston to win with the power of positivity. Titus O'Neil tried to join the Hurt Business, so they beat him up. Titus, well, tried! In a genuine home run segment for Raw, Tucker then revealed the mystery partner to fight Miz and Morrison with him, El Gran Gordo. Or, as you and I know him, Otis in a pink gimp mask and a cape. Idiots! Imagine being fooled by a guy wearing a lucha mask. This was incredibly funny, especially Otis's attempts at Spanish and his bottom rope arm drag. Lucha things! It all works so well, even R-Truth distracting Miz for El Gran Gordo couldn't spoil it. And they celebrated with the New Day and Mandy backstage afterwards. After teasing a new addition to the Firefly Funhouse cast, Bray Wyatt welcomed Alexa Bliss into his nightmarish kid TV show. After Rambling Rabbit was eaten again, oh my god, they killed Rambling Rabbit! Following his loss to Roman Reigns on Friday's SmackDown, Braun Strowman main evented Raw against Keith Lee for 3 whole minutes, when he low-blowed Keith with the back of his head to win, even though it was in full view of the referee. As much as I've taken an I told you so tone with Retribution getting buried, I've got to admit, you all told me so with Keith Lee. You were worried about his bad music, his bad new ring attire, and his frequent bad finishes. But I kept saying, don't worry, they've got plans for this guy. He's mixing it up with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Unfortunately, WWE make it equally depressing to be either wrong or right. Bad finish after bad finish for Lee has completely flattened him out and derailed any momentum he had. And even a badass kick to Braun's dick afterwards couldn't get his heat back. From now on, let's just assume any new act on WWE TV is going to be crap, and we can at least be pleasantly surprised if they aren't. And the main event segment saw Orton deliver a message from hell, sitting on a chair inside the Hell in a Cell structure, which I forgot was red. Randy's promo was decent, running through all the moments he's had with this stipulation, but the finish was incredibly lackluster. Orton laughed at McIntyre when he couldn't get in, so Drew broke open the door with bolt cutters, stepped inside, and then stared at him. That's it. the show went off the air. You'd think that would be a viewer drive to see what's going to happen next on RawTalk. They're both inside the cell now. But there was absolutely nothing. There wasn't even anyone in the cell behind Charlie and R-Truth, which just makes everything feel fake. And there's nothing worse in wrestling than feeling fake. I thought this was a terrible go-home and season premiere episode, which both ineffectively built the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and failed to make intriguing new storylines or characters, and, in definitely the case of Retribution and arguably with Lee and Riddle, actively damaged them. This week's Raw is the lowest possible rating, 1 out of 5. Bore. There will be plenty more to talk about this on the new Wrestling Daily show with Alex McCarthy, which launches on Wrestle2 tonight. Subscribe to WrestleTalk's second channel by clicking the icon down there, and check out the new Screen Grapple, which is asking, should WWE cut Lars Sullivan? Click on the video on the right to watch that, and find out about WWE's shocking WrestleMania 37 plans by clicking the video down there. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.